Welcome back, folks and friends. Connecting Dots 2 here. We are Tuesday, February 28th, 2017. All right, so I received another email after my video I uploaded yesterday. I'm not sure if you had an opportunity to see this one. That was a day ago. Massive Fukushima fraud exposed. So I'm going to continue on a little bit with that topic, but I want to share with you an email because, you know, there's so many of you that probably have gone through the exact same feelings this person has, the same path, the Fukushima path of fraud. And then you come across my channel and you're like, oh, thank you, a breath of fresh air. And you know, I don't only hear that over at my Connecting Dots 2 YouTube channel, but the Silver Gold Man YouTube channel where I do all my financial stuff, gold and silver. I hear the same thing all the time. People are so pleased to come across my channel because they realize it's exactly what I'm saying here over at Connecting Dots 2. The fraud and disinformation. Massive gang, folks. It takes me so long. It would take me so many hours of video to go over and just reconnect the dots, how they're all part of this massive gatekeeping. I don't know if you heard the term. I've been researching conspiracy since 2007. The term gatekeeping, I don't know what that, what are you watching the sheep to make sure you don't get past the gate? No, it's about the world that we live in, and they don't want you to dig down any deeper. So they try to control the entire narrative on YouTube, unfortunately, and it's not about waking you up to what's going on in the world. It's about fearing. Fear, and that's the essential thing that I get in many of your emails. The main thing that many of you have come across is that there's so much fear. So the video I put up a day ago, in fact, I should show you the email he sent me first. So I blocked out his name, but I went and looked on my video, and turns out, well, you'll find out his name's Derek Reynolds. But anyways, Derek says, so this scumbag Blanch, he's referring to Kevin Blanch, doesn't have cancer? He's not battling leukemia? Correct. In fact, he's, they control the narrative so much that they even have the ability to make videos disappear for no reason whatsoever. I'm not going to go over this stuff. It's something that I've covered here at Connecting Dots 2. You'd have to go back in my past playlists, but roughly just about 3 months ago, 4 months ago was it? I was going over some of the scams that were perpetrated by Kevin Blanch, and one of them was the fact that he was telling everyone that he had cancer. And what I did is the same thing what this person did. He went back and looked at some of Kevin Blanch's past videos, and he realized that Kevin's never been sick. He looks exactly the same as he did pre-Fukushima. How do I know that? Because his videos are still on his channel. He owns stuccodamage.com. He was a plasterer. He never worked as a hedge fund manager, which is the other thing the person said, that he's disgusted when he found out that he had scammed someone out of his life savings. Now, you got the photo there. You can see Fukushima News, Kevin Blanch, signing off for nuclear lies. This is one of the very few images that we have of him being in the hospital. As you can see, he's looking good. He's tanned. All he did was mess up his hair and put a blue gown on. No doctors. I mean, for someone to claim that he has leukemia and has been he has a rare form of leukemia, one of the rarest forms apparently, one of the type of leukemia that very few people survive. Yeah, but he's been looking healthy all along. It's one of the big things people have woken up to, that how can someone claim that they have cancer, and they look fine with their arms flailing? And unfortunately, that's what happened to me when I started making these videos roughly 7 months ago. Several of them, one after another. They removed 2 of them for no reason. I actually took footage from his own videos, how he just said he'd come out of the hospital that day. That was 7 months ago. He had tubes hanging out of his nose, and he told everyone in that video how he almost died last night. He woke up in a pool of blood in the hospital, didn't know how he got there, yada, yada, yada. Yet here it was, 9 hours later, and he was making a video flailing his arm with tubes sticking out of his nose. And I was telling folks, if you lose massive amounts of blood, they're not going to be sticking an IV up your nose to get the blood back in your system. Hell no, that don't work that way. You know exactly where they're being a stick in the IV, correct? So what happens is, he's not going to stop. This Fukushima fraud thing is massive, and I'm sorry you got scammed about it and you gave them $45. It's disgusting. I don't know what to say. In fact, I went and read your emails, and I mean what you posted here, and you went on to say how he was going to donate to Dana. You were going to donate to Dana. He says, this dude has been scaring the hell out of me. He sounds like a subject matter expert, but he's not. Then I learned that he stole the man's money. Like I said, this is where many of you have woken up. You don't mind getting informed on Fukushima when you realize that Kevin Blanch, Dana Durnford, Jeff Rense show, and the rest of them are all part in this big, massive scam on YouTube where they ripped off a person's, a disabled person. He's been out of work for the last 8 years, Jeff Palco. You can look that name up, by the way. Do a YouTube search, Jeff Palco. There's tons of videos out there. In fact, Jeff Palco even made 3 videos before he took his life in December 24th, 2014. That's right, Christmas Eve. They ripped the guy out of his entire life savings. He was on a disability for 8 years. He even took a loan. Listen to this. Jeff Palco believed everything that Derek and many of you have believed as far as Fukushima, and he wanted proof. So what he did is he took out a loan on his home for $16,500, bought a 24-foot long inflatable Zodiac, ocean-going Zodiac, a boat. So Dana could go out on the ocean and take marine samples. Folks, we never got a single marine sample, and that's what really pushed him over the end. Over the edge, I should say. I'm speaking about Jeff Palco at this point, because not only did he, lent his money to Kevin Blanch as a hedge fund manager, which we now know he's never been a hedge fund manager. He was stuckodamage.com. The website's for sale now. His name's there, his email address, and then, to make matters worse, he went and took a lien on his home for Dana to go out and do the testing. Not a single test was done. Dana lied to them, told me he spent 9 months on the ocean doing testing. Not a single test was ever taken. And then in the end, they banned him. They wouldn't even allow him to leave comments in the videos. They wouldn't answer his phone calls. He took his life Christmas Eve. This is disgusting. I'm the only person in contact with his biological mother, Mary Palco. I've shared those emails with you in the past. She wants these frauds to contact her. She actually sent an email to Thomas Ackerman telling Thomas, please tell all your friends to contact me. I want my son's money back. They scammed him out of his life savings, and it's sad here. So this guy goes on to say, can you answer a few questions? You seem to be a subject matter expert, and he'd like some truth. I'm frustrated at the amount of fear I've been feeling, and I want some honesty. Can you explain the massive amounts of marine life deaths with data proof? Okay, well, I can't go over all those videos. I've already debunked this many times in the past. I will tell you that the massive marine deaths have been occurring long before Fukushima. Long before. In fact, I even made a video a little while back, and I pulled up the data, and I was showing you folks that we've had massive whale beachings at that, because that was one of the big things they've been saying on YouTube. Look at that. The radiation is so bad, it's washing up these massive pods, whale pods. Absolutely false. So you can go through my Fukushima day list, and at one point, let me just pause this and find it for you. Okay, right here. So when you hit the playlist, you're going to be brought to this page. You scroll on down, and you'll see the this one here. Connecting Dots 2, Fukushima versus the Pacific Blob and Salmon Depopulation. That's one you can watch. And this is the big one, In fact, both of them are really good, because this one I'm debunking the salmon population, the devastation that there's no salmon left. I live right here on Vancouver Island. There are still salmon. Not to say that salmon populations haven't been hurt in areas along the west coast. Again, no Fukushima testing on this. This is very important, but I show you folks that salmon populations have been up and down, and in that specific video, I shared with you how even the next one, the U.S. Navy had put a warning out that they were going to be killing millions of Pacific marine life during their war exercise for the next 5 years. But the best is, if you go watch it, I can't remember which one it is, but one of them I speak about, I pulled up some data, how Aristotle himself from the 14th century was already writing back then how there were these massive whale beachings. No Fukushima, no nuclear reactor in the 14th century, and we have a writer who's talking about massive whales beaching. So it was a common occurrence back then. It has happened multitude of times before 2011, before the meltdown in Japan. I will pull that video up and make another video if anyone wants to debate me on this one. Long story short, let's get back to your comment here, because The marine life has been dying for a long time, and one of the things I've been talking about is the fact that we had the water warmed up here on the west coast, and it did kill some of the tidal pools, but they are not dead. In fact, again, go watch the video. I went right down to my own beach. This is important. This is the beach here, right on Vancouver Island. The water you see out here is from the Strait of Juan de Fuca. The Strait of Juan de Fuca is world-renowned for its ebb and flow tide. Dana Durnford, Jeff Rense, Kevin Blanch, many other people on YouTube have been telling you since 2014 that because of the massive ebb and flow tide along the west coast and the specific strait, the Strait of Juan de Fuca, that the radiation has been washing up, and that's what's killed everything along the coastline. I live right here on the coast. I'm 8 minutes away. Go down and take a look at the video. I was down at the exact same spot in August of 2014. Dig up my videos. See if you can see if the marine life has changed. In fact, the best is where I go right up to Dana's beach. This is the best. People like the truth, right? In this one here, 7 months ago, I went right up to Dana's beach. I busted his lies in less than 24 hours. Am I going back? Yes, we already have a plan, a trip. I'm going back up to Dana's beach. I'm going to take some more footage like I did back on the same beach I did in 2014. I'll be back there this summer again taking more footage. But, you know, I'm going to get into, you know, I can't debunk all of this stuff in one quick little video. I just want to share with you folks that Derek is another person who's gotten caught in all of this, you know. The fishery's going under. Like I said, this come and goes. You go check out the salmon. They've crashed before in the past. The other channels, and there are plenty, have us believing that within 18 months to 5 years, all is lost. Now pay attention, because this is where I'm going to tie in. You know, block your ears, get the kids away from the speakers at this point, because I'm about to say something they don't want to hear. A circle jerk of corruption. Yes, it is a massive circle jerk of corruption on YouTube. It's something I've been speaking about on this channel since August 2014. In fact, I even made a prediction back then. I said, many of the people on YouTube who don't even talk to each other or don't even make topics on various topics, maybe they only make one on financials or whatever, I said they're all going to start joining up, and that's exactly what we're seeing. We're seeing a group of people that don't even talk about Fukushima suddenly come out and speak about Fukushima. No, honestly. So you can find that just by, you do a search on, you know, Fukushima on YouTube, and I went for a week, and look, here's the still report. This is a prime example. Prime example. So I've said this before, you know, the biggest way to find out if people are part of the corruption, just look at who they promote on their YouTube channel. The Alex Jones, the fear-mongering guy, the king of fear-mongering and scams and lies. How many times have you been told that the markets was going to collapse? He just made a video probably about, what, 8 months ago? Everything was going to collapse. Do you remember that? Failed. Do you remember Ebola? Because apparently Ebola was coming out to the USA, and you're all going to be, you know, duck and run or hide. I don't know. What is it? It's going to wipe you out. And I was making videos back then at Connecting Dots too. I said, no, actually, we have the head of the CIA, the microbiologist, Larry Wilson, who came out on national television during the 1980s, and he admitted that the only natural ingredient, the only natural occurring thing on Earth that they could use, that they found that could kill germ warfare was what? Colloidal silver. So I made the videos back then. Come on, Alex Jones, I'll debate you. I'll make you look like a goof. He won't debate. So it's, again, it's the end times prophecy. This is all about fear-mongering, please. I hope you understand. Ebola, Jade Helm 15. How many of you were going to get scared with Jade Helm 15? Do you remember that? Martial law? Alex Jones has been saying martial law, crying it for a long time, folks. I've been out here since 2007. Sorry, since 2009. I've been researching conspiracy since 2007. If you want to stay informed, do not watch the Alex Jones InfoWars. They still, 99% of their material comes from an independent person like myself who does the research. Next News Network, another fear-mongering thing. It's just like Alex Jones. Me Lord God. I mean, it's... Me Lord, I've had enough of this. It's disgusting, okay? You can see, me Lord, again, Pacific turns to blood, Japan, nuclear disaster breaches, the gates of hell. No, seriously. This is non-stop here. Disgusting. You know, Project Mother Earth, entire Pacific Ocean. Oh, yeah, it's been contaminated. Not a single test. And it's funny, I'm the only one on YouTube who's actually raising donations for a gamma spectrometer so I can do some live testing. Imagine that, and they're calling me the fraud. Unbelievable. So again, here, Unnaturals, I called him a scammer too. They're all part of it, folks, okay? Paul Begley, look at, is Fukushima causing the biblical wormhood? He's already been busted. Do a search. Paul Begley, busted, debunked. He admits that he makes these fear-mongering videos because people on YouTube, it's what they want to hear. He's in it for the cash like everybody else. They use fear as a method to control and to keep you interested. It's the same thing, like I said, Kevin Blanch, the same thing. Hawaiian cancer, the Great Pacific Genocide, nothing but lies. So you may recall how they were all saying back then, it was, you know, the radiation now, highest levels than ever before, blah, blah, blah. I don't know if you saw that. That was about, what, 2 weeks ago? Let's pull out the article. All right, so TEPCO struggles to communicate the radiation spike that wasn't. February the 8th, updated on February the 9th. New readings from inside the reactor prompt fears of rising levels. I know because I've seen it on YouTube, okay? TEPCO snapped photos of possible fuel debris for the first time. They snapped the photos for the first time. I wonder why. Well, because they were closer this time. So if you're closer to the source of the radiation and the fuel debris, do you not think that maybe the readings on your Geiger counter would go higher? Of course. See, I haven't even read the entire article and you've already figured it out. How do you like them apples? So here it goes on, say, after almost 6 years after the nuclear disaster at Fukushima, the utility in charge of the plant is still having problems getting its message across. When Tokyo Electric Power Company Holdings Incorporated last week gave new radiation readings higher than any previously announced, it thrust the cleanup of the nuclear plant back in the spotlight. Radiation levels are soaring. Oh my God, we've heard it everywhere. Gizmo said it. Fox anchor Lou Dobbs tweeted to his 1.1 million followers that the mainstream media was ignoring the worsening disaster. Too late, Lou Dobbs. I was reporting this in 2011, and the media in the United States was being upfront with everyone. As far as the tsunami that had hit the plants, they were concerned that if the plants went into a meltdown, that because of the jet stream, the radiation would go up into the atmosphere and get transported over to the United States, North America, with the jet stream. This is prior to the meltdown. Fox News, all of them were very upfront with all of you. The moment the meltdown took place, Fox News, CNN, the rest of the hose bags all shut the hell up. I became the main guy on YouTube as I was making these videos, 2-3 of them a day, warning you all what's going on here, how I had these past news clips to show you that they were warning you back then that if it went to a meltdown. So Lou Dobbs, I said, folks, I just don't trust these people. I'm sorry. So here's the problem here. There was one problem. There was no rise in the radiation readings at all. None whatsoever. By putting a camera inside the primary containment vessel of Fukushima reactor number 2, which experienced a meltdown in 2011, TEPCO collected data closer than ever before to what could be the source of the radiation. Do you get it? The closer to the source, you're going to pick up a higher reading, no doubt about it. It's the same thing with Dana Durnford. He used to tell you folks it's 200 counts per minute along the west coast, and he lives in a little community here, roughly about 3 hours away here, a small town in Powell River, BC, telling folks 200 counts per minute in Powell River. Absolute lies. Lies. And I went right to his hometown. Like I said, in less than 24 hours, I debunked him. So as you can see here, the story goes on to say, as well as capturing images of what may be the melted fuel, TEPCO was able to estimate radiation. Did you get the estimate? It was able to estimate radiation levels, arriving at a figure of 530 sieverts an hour. The company said last week on Thursday it had recorded readings of 650 per hour. The utility aims to send a robot into the vessel. This is what they've been doing, working on multitude of robots, trying to improve them. We've got a problem. They've been upfront. They've said it could take about 45 years before this is even contained. So in the meantime, yes, we've got a leak going on. In fact, I've been talking about strontium-90, another topic none of these scammers want to talk about. I've been, you can follow that up, by the way. If you do research on my Fukushima playlist, once you get there, you can enter the word strontium-90 and you will find out how I've been covering that specific topic, something they don't want to speak about. Part of my funds that I raise, I will be buying a gamma spectrometer to do testing along the west coast. I've connected up here with a seafood warehouse, friends, fishermen, whatnot, along the coastline. I'll be doing tests on that, but one of the things I have to test for is for strontium-90 that causes bone cancer, and unfortunately I'm unable to do that test with a gamma spectrometer. So I'll be taking out roughly I think they're about $200 to $300 to do those individual tests on their own, but it has to be done because the German study was very upfront. They said roughly around the 1,000-day mark of the meltdown, we would have an explosion of strontium-90. If you go watch my videos, around the 1,000-day mark, 1,048 I think it was, Fukushima day 1,048, boom, it comes out, it starts spewing out. So we have another over 4,000 days before the strontium-90 stops spewing out at elevated levels. It will continue releasing at higher levels for the next 4,000 days, and finally at around the 5,000 day mark, the levels will start to subside and slowly decrease, and it'll take, I think, another 10,000 days for them to stop leaking. I mean, for it to stop emitting these high levels. We've got a problem here, folks. Okay, but the fact is, these figures are much higher than the previously recorded peaks of 73, and many times greater than the legal dose. The readings were taking closer to the source of the radiation. So it only makes sense that very high radiation readings near any of the used fuel would be expected. So Fukushima is not spewing out more than before. I've said that before, that if you need to, if you don't have a Geiger counter, you want to see what the readings are along the west coast, you can come out to my website. It's called connectingdots1.com, and if you scroll on down here, there's a section that's called the live radiation readings. You can click on that map and it'll bring you here. You click on the USA National, and it'll bring you to the radiation network. So these are independent people like myself, like you, who have bought a gamma spectrometer, I should say, various devices. And if you do want to join up here, there's a list of compatible models that you can go out and purchase, and you can start streaming your live readings in your city, in your town. Okay, and so this is all live. There's no fear mongering. You can come out here and check these levels. I've been checking it since 2011, and it's roughly the same. It hasn't changed. I live right here on Vancouver Island, and I own 2 Geiger counters. I've been saying that for a long time. 2 Geiger counters, and they're not cheap. My cheapest one is about a $400 Geiger counter. The other one is a Ludlum 3A. It's brand new. It's worth close to $3,000. The probe alone is a military probe that retails for about $300. So I'm well equipped, and that's how I was able to go directly up to Dana's Beach, okay, and bust them in 24 hours because I brought my equipment. I went along the shoreline. I looked for marine life. I found tons of marine life. Go watch the video, get yourself informed. And above all, if this is your first time hearing about this stuff, please take your time to do a YouTube search on the name Jeff Palko, okay? You'll soon find out that, like I said, I'm not lying. I'm in contact with Mary Palko. That's Jeff's biological mother. And this is the Kevin Blanch video where he's trying to mislead people to think that Jeff Palko's on his side. Well, that was taken immediately when Jeff came out of the hospital on November 19, 2014. Like I said, a month later, roughly, he had already committed suicide because he'd realized that Kevin Blanch he had scammed him. That's why he made these videos. Kevin Blanch, post-ignorance, ex-hedge fund fraud. These are his own words. I don't even have to pump this stuff. People are intelligent enough that they'll come out and get themselves informed, and they'll realize that these people have scammed them out of his life savings. I have to admit, it's very unfortunate that they scammed him, and Jeff took his life, and now Jeff has a 17-year-old son now, Corey Palko, and it's disgusting that no one else on YouTube wants to speak about this. They'll put up a video on Fukushima to fear you, but none of them will speak out about the scam that's taken place on YouTube. So if you don't know anything about this, please get yourself informed, and good luck. And if you can afford it, only if you can afford it, if you want to send me something here for my gamma spectrometer, that's my long-term goal. I'll be the guy on the West Coast who's pumping videos out with real data, not the fear-mongering crap that you're going to get on these channels, okay? stay away from this garbage. That's my 5 cents. If you want to stay informed, I'm one of the guys on YouTube who's been doing this since day one. Hope you enjoyed the video. Take care.